Hey Jokes, and welcome back to the Beer Joke Beer of the Week Drink Along. Here's Luke.
And he's Matt. Drink along, is that what we're calling it now?
Well, that's what you told me before we started recording, so that's what we're going with apparently.
We're making drink along a thing.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And this is our Beer of the Week from Shining Peak Brewing in Taranaki. They are an awesome little brewery who've been making some waves recently. Just moved to Cairns only a little while ago after gaining a really great reputation for just putting out some fantastic beers, featuring heavily in like the stuff like the Gab's Hottest 100 and really making a name for themselves as a fantastic local brewery.
Yeah, brilliant brewery in New Plymouth. I had a chance to visit them a few weeks ago when I was down there for a few days, so it's good to catch up with Jesse and the whole team there. And it's a really beautiful little brew pub as well. It's kind of a bit of a swanky place, and it's full of people that aren't necessarily into beer as well, just because it's such a nice place to be. So sort of all kinds of people go there. But yeah, most importantly, the beer is excellent, and we've been really impressed with the Shining Peak, the whole range really. I've tried pretty much everything that they put out in the last year or so, and they're really nailing it.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see them putting out something interesting like this, which is a honey brown ale. So this is a kind of classic brown ale with honey sourced locally. It's made by the Annabelle family in the Waitotoa Valley, who have a brand called Egmont Honey, who are just really good mates with the team there, and decided to put something in, getting those honey notes coming through in the beer really clearly. It's actually but beautifully well integrated with the malt.
Yeah, honey, it seems like such an obvious thing to include in beer because it's delicious, and of course honey is basically pure sugar, so that helps with the alcohol levels as well. But I think often when honey is used in beer, it just it dries it out completely, and you'd think that you add honey to a beer and it makes for a nice sweet rounded flavour, but it's actually the opposite because it's sugar that turns into alcohol. And but the resultant beer in this here is it tastes like lovely, delicious, complex, nice honey.
Yeah, it's got a nice honey note to it, but it doesn't kind of dominate with that. I just had that cloying sweetness. I often find honey a bit too sweet as something by itself, and I find that kind of dominates.
Just when you're eating honey from the pot, a bit too
straight
sweet.
from the pot, straight to it. But in this, there is a really nice malt sweetness carrying on through the beer. It hasn't dried it out completely, which is what can often happen. And yeah, it's a lovely malt base. They've kind of got those toffee kind of caramel notes coming in, and it's just clean as well. A lot of honey beers can have a kind of a slight funk to them from the fermentation of the honey, but they've managed it really well here, and it's come out super smooth and drinkable, and really on the lower end for a brown ale or a dark beer. It's almost kind of the top end of pale ale in that, but kind of a little bit more than that. So
yeah, definitely. It's just such a beautiful colour. But no, it's definitely not a big, rich, full-bodied brown ale that you drink in the winter time. It's well suited to this beautiful sunny autumn day, and yeah, lighter in colour on the spectrum of brown ales, and lighter in flavour. It's the body works beautifully with the honey. We've done a pretty great job. And this is a beer you can just drink again and again, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just actually thinking that. So it's not often that you would describe a brown ale or 6.2% brown ale as sessionable, but this drinks really cleanly and smoothly. It's very moreish.
Yeah, I think this would be a fantastic beer just to actually have on at the brew pub, and it's a beer that I'd keep coming back to and drink again and again. And probably it's going to pair quite nicely with food, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, something like a cheese board would work really well with this.
Exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
Just because we love cheese boards.
Yeah, just cheese boards with everything, I suppose. But yeah, just some like really smelly washed rind cheese would go well with this.
Yeah, and Shining Peak are doing fantastic work there. So if you're in the region, you should definitely check them out.
Pay them a visit, yeah. There's a lot of good beer happening around the Taranaki area in New Plymouth. Yeah. Some really, really talented brewers down there.
Yeah, say hi to Jesse, give Brendan a hug.
Yeah.
It'll be a lovely time.
Yeah. All right, so other stuff that's going on quickly. We just had a big Moondog shipment, which is really exciting. I think Moondog are one of the breweries we've been importing for longest from Australia. Maybe Nomad before them. And we're just huge fans of the whole team there. We're big fans of all the beers they put out, their innovation, their bloody crazy names. So we put together a few mixed packs. So we've got a really interesting beer pack that's focused on all the sour beers, the kettle sours. One that's more the hoppy beers, and then one which is just everything that we brought in from Moondog. So we've also got a couple of their beers that are not in those mixed packs, but they're coming up in the Beer of the Week subscription.
So some of you have been talking about, asking about those beers even before we put them out in the box. So did you bring any of this? And we did.
Yeah, a lot of Moondog fans in New Zealand, so yeah.
Yeah, so we did a bunch of cool stuff with Moondog when they came over a few years ago. So some of you may have met the team there. Dave, Carl and Josh who came over, did a bunch of collaborations with some awesome breweries and released some awesome beers. And it's good to be continuing that and bringing stuff like them in.
Yeah.
They're a pretty big deal in Australia at the moment. Their capacity is huge. They keep growing with their venue Moondog World and stuff like that. But we'll talk more about Moondog when they come around as Beer of the Week.
Definitely.
The other thing that we've got coming up in the near future is NanoFest. So NanoFest is a new event that we've put together, which is going to be on Saturday the 14th of May here at the Fridge and Flagon. And it's a celebration of New Zealand's smallest breweries. So breweries like Craftwork, like Small Gods, and Wilderness, Emporium,
Yes,
Workshop.
we're locking in the tap list for that at the moment. So everyone's going to be confirmed in the coming days. So check out our social media for Fridge and Flagon on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll see the tap list as it's coming together over the next week and a half.
Yeah, so we've got there's a couple of things that we're really excited about. There's some people have got some cakes that they've squirreled away. There's an ice distilled pastry stout. We've got Craftworks Brewing Scotch bonnet. Finia Emporium has found for us a 6-litre bottle of his 2018, I believe it is, cherry, a raspberry dark sour.
Amazing.
So we'll be doing bottle pours from a massive 6-litre bottle. That will be lots of fun.
Hopefully it gets here in one piece.
Yeah.
Curries haven't been great with glass bottles recently.
Yeah, well, it's. I think Finney very much wants that bottle back, so he can put something else in it because a 6-litre bottle it's very expensive. So yeah, hopefully it can make it both ways.
And then the next week after that, so Saturday 21st, we're going to be doing Wildstock. So Wildstock's a sort of annual beer and wine festival that we do with our friend Jules that has a company called Cult Wine.
Annual events have been a problem the last couple of years.
Yeah, a few, skipped a few. And that is going to be a festival where it's all about wild is a pretty broad category, so it's not only wild fermentation when it comes to beer, but definitely there will be some brilliant wild fermentation beers. But stuff that's made with really unusual ingredients, interesting kettle sours, things that are made with more sort of culinary type ingredients. And then the wine side is going to be interesting natural wines. So pet nats, orange wines, a whole bunch of really interesting stuff. And again, both these festivals, you don't need to buy tickets or anything. It's just an event. You just turn up here and buy what you want to drink.
Yeah. So both those should be a good time. So that's the 14th and the 21st at the Fridge and Flagon. Yeah, come and see us.
We're going to get back to packing boxes to get them out in time for Mother's Day.
Yep.
See you next time. Enjoy.
See you later. Bye. Love you, Mum.